legacy of Robbie Burns. Glasgow-born, Richard was moved to South Africa by his parents when he was 11. He's a serial entrepreneur, presentation expert, author, lecturer, and all-round great guy. He's spoken in over 40 countries, so it's no surprise then that according to Claire, he stays in the posh bit of Broberg. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Richard Mulholland!
I've been a speaker for a while, but anytime you get to present in your kilt, you feel a wee bit more nervous. The last thing any of us want to do is to disrespect the cloth. But the lads over there just told me that Scotland just beat England in the rugby, and that can go wrong. So as I say, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honour and a privilege to deliver a toast to the immortal memory of one of Scotland's worst farmers. And ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, Robert Burns was a farmer. Poetry was something he did later. Right? Robert Burns was a farmer, but alas, not a very good one. And he tried and tried and tried, and ultimately was a failure in his daily vocation. In fact, to put it in perspective for you, at the age of 25, Robert Burns got his sweetheart, Jean Armour, up the duff. For the non-Scottish around here, that is with child. And ironically, the last time I heard the phrase up the duff was Claire Bernard's wedding. As an honourable young man, Robert Burns did the right thing and asked for Gina Armour's hand in marriage. And her father said no. I want you to imagine, it's 1784, right? In 1784, how shit your prospects as a farmer must be for somebody to rather deal with the shame of you as a son-in-law, right, than have you as a son-in-law. This man was not built for farming. But Robert Burns had the last laugh because he impregnated her again. And 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 one more time. 9 times he impregnated her. Eventually they did get married. And in fact, because he believes in the important ideal of an heir and a spare, I'm looking at you, Harry, he decided to impregnate 4 other women 4 more times. Robert Burns may not be much of a farmer, but he certainly knows his way around sowing wild oats. Now, let's have a heroic John Bill. I bring this up because I believe it is this failure that led to the celebration we have tonight. You see, had Robert Burns seen success on the farms, he would not have headed off to Edinburgh. That is Edinburgh, for any North Americans in the room tonight, where he met with the Freemasons and was introduced to Edinburgh society. And Edinburgh society took to the ballad, and they went to buy his poems and was very, very much celebrated. Burns amassed a small fortune at the time of £20, and promptly took that £20 and headed straight back to the country to buy another farm, which, sadly, but unsurprisingly, failed. Now, I think it is this angst that fueled the fire of Robert Burns. I think it is this angst that led to that creative inspiration that we can hear in the words that he writes. I know this because I myself am married to an artist. And my buddy Jasmine over there, who you heard shouting at the beginning, if ever she is struggling for creative inspiration, it is not because she's feeling too much pain. It is because she's feeling so happy. You're welcome. In fact, it is my job to make sure she feels more painful. If she is going through any kind of artistic block, all I have to do is put the chili in the wrong shelf in the fridge for a day or 2, and she is back there in her studio, painting with all the fierceness of Picasso on acid. In fact, I'm convinced that somewhere, somebody has an original, expensive Jasmine Jagger in their living room that is inspired by me peeing in the toilet seat. Robert Burns was a man who struggled with his demons. He struggled with angst. He struggled with pain. And you can see this in the words that he wrote. And I've chosen one small prayer that he wrote to read for you tonight. And you can see the pain the man was in. It is called Prayer Under Pressure of Violent Anguish. So, not a comedy. O thou great being, what thou art surpasses me to know. Yet sure I am that known to thee are all thy works below. Thy creature here before thee stands, all wretched and distressed. Yet sure those ills that wring my soul obey thy high behest. Sure, thou Almighty canst not act from cruelty or wrath. Oh, free my weary eyes from tears, or close them fast in death. But if I must afflicted be to suit some wise design, then man my soul with firm resolve to bear and not repine. And bear he did, ladies and gentlemen, repine he did not. Because Rabbie Burns was a man fueled by the demons of disappointment. Rabbie Burns was a man who lived daily stressing, trying to put food on the table for his family. Rabbie Burns was a man who suffered from imposter syndrome with everything that he did. Rabbie Burns, ladies and gentlemen, is you and I. And this is what inspires me the most about Robert Burns. You see, despite the failures he had in his farms, despite the self-doubt he had that led him from the arms of one lady to the next, despite the fact that tragically the last words penned by Robert Burns was a letter to his brother-in-law begging for money to keep him out of a pauper's prison. Despite all that, Robert Burns was able to see beauty in the world. He was able to capture that beauty in prose, and he was able to share it for the world and for all of us here tonight to enjoy. What I learned from Robert Burns is that we are not defined or remembered even by our vocation or career choices. The path we walk will for many of us be the least interesting thing we do. What defines us is not what we do during the 9 to 5 of our hours, but in the cracks and crannies that come in the other aspects of our life. You see, we do not remember Robert Burns as a man that walked the farmer's path, or even later, as an excise man. No, we remember him for the many beautiful words he wrote in the cracks and crags of those pathways. This excites me so much because it makes me realize that for Robert Burns, who we're celebrating tonight, being a poet was not a job. Being a poet was a side hustle. You know, it's a fitting fact that Robert Burns is the second most statued person in the world today, second only to Christopher Columbus. And I think this is fitting and deserved, because Robert Burns, more than almost any person who has a statue, is a representative of the common people. Ladies and gentlemen, as I reach the end of my toast here tonight, I invite you to remember that Robert Burns was not a poet. He was a farmer that wrote poetry. The best way then that we can honor the memory of Robert Burns is to be more like him, to understand that we are not the pathways we walk from 9 to 5 every day, and to live our lives in the nooks, the crannies, and the cracks of those pathways. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, the only way we can honor the memory of Robert Burns is to toast the man with a glass of Scotland's finest. So, I ask each and every one of you that can to stand with your charged glasses, to raise those glasses, and let us toast the tragic, inspiring, beautiful, and immortal memory of Robert Burns. Cheers. Slange.